Hey everyone, it says I'm live and it looks like we are on, yes, we are on StreamYard, which is streaming to both YouTube and uh, Facebook. I am just trying to make sure that I can see you guys in advance and all your live comments because yesterday I had to learn it was playing behind. So what I was doing on camera was delayed. Morning, sweetheart. How you doing? Sharon's here. Medina Domestic Studios here. So I've had a little situation this morning. Uh, Jasmine has decided that she was going to sit in my chair all night long since I filmed yesterday and has not left the chair. I don't know why she's so freaked out. And so having her hopping around while I was setting up, that's why I'm a little bit late. I was going to try to do something with epoxy today. Let's hope she stays on the back of the chair like normal. But she's been super attached, hopping all over me. And she knocked over that entire blue that we made with that mystery blue yesterday. She knocked that cup over just from me going to get the iPad so I could see your comments. And for some reason, she's insisting on sitting on my lap right now. Yeah, you can hear her. Meow, meow, meow. But let's put her behind. I really don't want to put her in the other bedroom. Yeah, well, what happened is when Thursday, when Andy and Sylvia came and picked up all those pigments, yeah, we were unearthing everything around the house. And she just is not leaving me alone right now. I don't really want to put her in the bedroom. I did that to Harley and he got really upset with me that time. Incidentally, when Andy and Sylvia were here, they searched the entire house and they couldn't find Harley. But at least we know he's more than likely still alive. So I'm going to try to keep encouraging her to go back while we talk about what we're going to do today. But I decided not to do epoxy because she's all over the place and not controllable today. And I may need to put her, like I said, in the bedroom on Tuesday's broadcast. So, meow, yes, I know, but I can't paint with you sitting there talking to me. I know. You guys that know me know she's never actually kind of gone this bonkers before. Now, there was one place yesterday she hid under the table and slept. I'm going to try to see if she'll go back there. Go hang out. Stay there, buddy. Please stay there. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but let's get started. So where are we at so far? So the email campaign went out today. There's officially a item you can choose to enter the sweepstakes to win the trip to Belize. Fairy Art Mother, Judy Sand, who is a regular participant in our broadcast, is offering a week stay at her villa, one of the two she owns in Belize, for 2025, and it's about a $5,000 value. And she's putting that up so we can raise the capital and move the lab. Judy Sand, we love you. You're an absolute sweetheart. So this morning I sent out the email campaign. The item's been created. Jarek, my IT guy, is building a custom page to show all the bedrooms, but there's even a link in this description and yesterday's description. And on the website now where you can go in and view all the bedrooms, read out about all the amenities. I don't know, if I was younger, I'd be begging somebody to take me with him, whoever won, because a chance to, hike the Mayan ruins or inner tube through some caves or caverns. I mean, there's lots of excursions you could book, or you can just get a daily massage and hang out by the pool or head all the way out to the ocean. So, yeah, the sweepstakes is up. Right now, if you go to colorart.com, it is on the ColorPlay deals page. It will be moved to the Belize giveaway page. We're going to do this for about 2 weeks. I think the cutoff date is I'd like to be able to announce the winner on Saturday, the 20th broadcast in July. I mean, we're talking just 2 weeks to do this, a little bit over 2 weeks to do this. It'd be fun to do it, announce it, like I said, on July 20th, how many days that is. That might be 3 weeks. But we're also trying to figure out how to do a numbering system. And if all the invoices, because if I can go by my invoice numbers, they may start with 66. That's what they're doing right now. So then maybe what I can do, because they're five numbered invoices, so I can get 3 ping pong balls, mark them 0 to 9, and pick those balls live, like the last 3 digits being picked live right on camera. And that way everybody can see what's going to happen. I'm also, and I didn't bring it over here, I'm so sorry, because I was trying to reset everything because of Jasmine this morning. There's this incredible painting that Cindy Porter did for me. This kangaroo that she painted a long time ago, and I had to buy it from her. Her work is usually worth between $1,200 to $2,000 a painting. And so I am willing to also add that up as a consolation prize for somebody for entering this. And more than likely, not more than likely, but I have to officially put it on there. We're also going to do a mystery box. That way, there's not just one winner. We get to pick for a couple other people. That day may be fun. Maybe you can also look forward to me on that broadcast doing other little giveaways if you guys know how to answer your questions. Like, what was that color in the Celestine, in the Serpentine set that was gold? What was the name of it? Answer, Goldilocks, right? So we can also do that. Okay, so today I was going to do an epoxy treatment. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you who I am, and I forgot we are simulcasting on Facebook. For those who don't know me, my name is Leslie Ohnstad. I am the creator of ColourArte products. These are my babies. I've been making them for the past 29 years. And your host of ColorPlay Live 3 days a week most of the time. Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9 a.m. on Saturday. Had to get that out of the way. Also, there is a special coupon. I announced it yesterday, but now it's up on the website. Got to raise some capital. It's the end of the month. So there is a coupon Summer 24, and you get an additional 17% off your order. All right. So a couple days ago, we did a test with the Celestine Prophecy, the Crystal Serpentine set. Boy, Celestine, that's a book, right? The Crystal Serpentine set. And what I did in that video is I actually mixed some Purely Pigments, some of the Blingets, put it in a varnish, and glazed the boards. And you can see how darn sparkly they are right now. How fun, right? Look at that. Hey, Dee, how you doing? Hope's here too. So I am really, really loving how much that sparkled. I need to turn the camera over, but I wanted to be able to talk as much because turning the camera over on StreamYard's a little bit more challenging. Here is the second one that we did. It's, I can't decide where the top or the bottom is. Now, this is not a bad first start to create a piece for epoxy, right? I'm going to flip my camera now, guys. Give me a minute. Get my back camera on. Let's see what you guys can see and get this thing flipped over. So this was an old pour that I had done some test swipes on because you can see some of the texture of the paint pattern here, right? I covered it with white paint. And then on the video where I mixed every single one of the serpentine colors, I'd mixed a serpentine color with one of the Purely Pigments and in only varnish, and I glazed the board, letting them run over the top of each other, kind of creating an interesting gradient. Now, when you're resining, most people, they will base coat white or they may base coat black, but this is not a bad base coat if I was going to do some kind of epoxy thing on top of it. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Like I said, I was hesitant to pull out the epoxy because she was leaping all over the place. So I'm going to try to do a swipe, but I'm going to use a lot of interference violet and gold. And then I'm going to leave some gaps. Now, this may or may not work. And I'm going to literally pour up 2 colors I'll have in varnish, just pure varnish over the top, like a glaze. And then we're going to try to use a cell activator over the top of it. It may not work. We know that varnish is part of the chemistry to make the cell activator work. And as long as I have enough, this is what I'm thinking, enough of just the interference gold and violet by themselves stretched down, and then I put some varnish in there, with the color, it may work. It may create a special effect. I'm actually hoping that some of this color here that's been varnished on first will come through, and that'll make a more interesting piece when I do a top coat. Okay, and then yeah, and these boards are pretty cool. They're not expensive, but they're a type of canvas that's backed with a hard cardboard. And so they're designed to take epoxy also, or any kind of wet media, like mixed media or any kind of extra wet media, without it concaving, because canvas will sag by the weight of resin. Resin dries rigid. So normally a 10 by 10 with a nice wide side will keep it from sagging, but these little boards are handy. And so when I did the tests on here and I didn't like them, I said, dang it, these are resinable. So we're going to do the swipe and try to do these swipe techniques. And then after it dries, I'm going to try to do some epoxy on top of it. Okay. Yesterday's pieces that we did dried exactly as we saw them. Of course, they could use a top coat of resin, but I'm really happy with how the patterns move. So I know that my mix of the 1 part heavy gel medium to 4 parts of enamel and or deep base, whatever you got, works. And that was that Amsterdam white cell activator. And I did 2 of them. This was that first one. I kind of liked how the gold really pops in this one. It really created some interesting patterns. This one, I used a little bit more of that purple. And so, yet the edges are all covered because remember, I did that little swirl of the interference gold over it before we did the colors. So even this background area that looks white, as soon as epoxy is put on the top of it, all of this is going to pop and shimmer. All these edges are going to go bang, bang, bang. Hey, everybody. Hi, Evelyn. Woohoo, Evelyn's watching. For some reason, my iPad's on a delay, but I guess I better get over it. So I have some colors left from yesterday. Now the blue dropped, so I'm going to just remind you what they are when I pick them up and use. I guess I could do that. I mixed some of the crystal serpentine colors in with the Purely Pigments to make these colors I had yesterday. This morning, though, I went ahead. I'm trying to keep my towel from getting covered with blue because the blue paint that fell over there. This morning, I took that mauvey pink. I got a little heavy-handed on the cotton candy. I wanted more cotton candy and mica minerals, the Bling minerals in it. And it went way dark, but that's okay. It means it's going to look a little bit different than yesterday. And I am going to play, though, with another one of the pigments that I found in the mystery group. And this one also had no marking on it. Now, looking at the color, it looks like a violet, but it's got gold mica in it. That's kind of an English lavender look, right? Now, I don't know, but my gut is to go with just a pure color. I can't find my original bottle of Oh Snap. I mean, this is what the Purely Pigment bottle looks like, but this is my lab bottle of the old Oh Snap. That's that Snapdragon color that we made. And so I'm gonna first grab a couple of these cups. I'm running out of cups. We're running low on cups. I really wish I could make these somehow recycle because it sure would be a lot better for the environment. And yet plastic shows the color best on camera for you guys because so you can see what the true colors was. I'm now even using the cups that have old resin skins in them. So I had a little cup with resin skins in here, but I need these cups for today's broadcast. My little cups haven't shown up yet. So I'm really curious about this color. Like I said, this is one of the blingets that's going to go in the mystery box. Those of you who don't know what's going on, I'm packing up my lab and moving after 19 years. And there is 19 years of mineral blends and primer element blends in my house that there's no way if I lived to 110 I would ever use. And so the crew came and got them Thursday. We're breaking them all down and we're putting together two mystery boxes. I mean, not two mystery boxes, mystery boxes. That there's two different sizes. You can get a full box or you can get a half a box. Some people have even purchased 1.5 boxes. They're going to contain approximately two sets. Basically, we're creating 12 half ounces of the blingets, the minerals. There'll be 12 half ounces of the primary elements. There'll be approximately 4 tubs about this size. There'll be a big 8-ounce tub that's about 3/4 full with the metallic that you choose. There's some holographic copper and gold glitters that were so rare. And I know this is against everything I teach you. I tell you never to just buy stuff and pet it. But can I tell you, these glitters blew my mind. And I bought 5 kilos and sat on them. Let's see if I have a sample of it here in the box. I do have a lid that somehow got hit with the holographic on here. I know there's a little jar in the box, but I decided that rather than sit and pet them, I needed to split them up and give them to you guys. There's also going to be an assortment of pretty much everything else we sell. Some Vivid Intense, some Prism Pour, some Resin Art, some of the Moon Rocks, 3 different types of Moon Rocks. Now look at the gold in that thing. So I did make a color years ago called English Lavender, which is a purple color with gold. I don't see any additional color in here, so I don't think this is a primary element. This actually looks like a blinget, meaning it's just pure minerals that got us to that color. Let's see, because gold can change everything. And you're like going, what can I mix with purple that would be compatible with gold? Well, first I'm going to start off with, like I said, this is my lab sample bottle. So we'll see how much it actually drops out for me. Let's see if I can get just one drop. One little drop. Hopefully everyone can hear me. That was about 5 drops. Didn't mean to do 5 drops. I'm starting with at least the purple and see how strong that gold is. Our interference gold is really strong. So I'm not going to be able to take the gold away. I'm going to accept that. This is going to be a cool paint we're going to use that is a violet with some gold in it. So I am putting in, this is a mixture of 1 part heavy gel medium, 4 parts vivid enamel, and yeah, it looks really thick. But this will mix up into a nice paint. We know we did really well with this mix yesterday. Everything selled up beautifully. I'm really, really happy with how they dried. Well, it looks like she's leaving me alone. I don't want to jinx it, but all of a sudden she got quiet. She's not jumping up and down anymore. So maybe, maybe we're gonna get a little bit lucky. Okay. I had another color here I wanted to play with, River Rock Blue. Okay, that's our Purely Pigments River Rock. Since some of that blue knocked over, I'm going to make something with it. Now, This is a color I didn't use yesterday. I think Smoky Topaz. These are some of the Serpentine colors in the Serpentine set. I laid them out so you guys could see them. But most of the colors have already been mixed up from yesterday. So and I'm also reserving my cups. I'm trying to be careful with my cups right now until my delivery shows up. Okay, let's get some of this. One's called Smoky Topaz. It is in the Serpentine set. And I expect it to kind of look smoky. See how everybody's doing over here. That's really pretty. Save those you can use. Oh my God. Yes, I know we can see those. Hi, Carm. How are you, sweetheart? You're not that late. You guys are pretty good. So let's put a little varnish in there. I always put them in the varnish. I like putting stuff in varnish or resin first on camera because it maximizes the sparkle. Oh, yes. Ooh. Look at that. I'm kind of digging that. That's a really interesting color. Okay, I don't want to dominate. I'm going to put some of the river rock in, but I don't want too much. I really want the translucency. 2 drops. Let's see what happens with 2 drops. Because I'm liking what this color looks like on its own. Oh, yeah. There, it popped into that beautiful turquoise. Let's see if I can get a big stick here. You can see the color a whole lot better when it's going up and down that full stick. So we can see what it looks like. Yeah, that's gorgeous. River rock with that smoky topaz. I think that's what that color was called. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's add some of the enamel to it. Thick, it looks like mayonnaise. Yes. This is looking kind of juicy. I'm kind of putting 1.5 stickfuls on here. I kind of don't want my paint too thin. It's got to hold up. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Now that is a really pretty blue. But it does kind of have a smokiness to it, like the name says. I know, I want more bling. What can I say? I'm going to add some sparkle blue to it because I can. Add a little bit of more shimmer. I want a little bit more shimmer because I like to mix the finer colors with the larger particulates. It adds more dimension to your work when it dries, and it's really apparent when you're resining. I mean, that's so, oh yeah, look at that. See, can I just say that this here is just therapeutic, just the mixing? As a matter of fact, I have a doctor friend of mine that says he goes home and mixes color every night he possibly can after surgery. It's not necessarily about what he's going to paint. It's the therapeutic feeling in the exercise of mixing the color and what it does when it's releasing beautiful endorphins into your body, which it does. Now I'm hearing her move around, so danger is coming. Now just so we know the differences, I'm going to put the 2 varnish colors in these little cups. Okay. So when I'm playing with these cups, these are the ones with the acrylic in it. And when I'm pouring the 2 colors with these in, they're the ones that are just the varnish. This is an experiment. Not sure if it's going to work, but hey, I like to play. And I like when we played with that silicone that time and it worked, right? Okay, so I know we really, really liked this color yesterday. This was purple agate. And then this ashen violet, last couple of days has really been impressing me. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of those just in varnish. Let's see what happens. See if it lets me do this. See, I'm thinking if I have enough of the straight base with the interference down and I'm drizzling this with the varnish over the effect, I might get like a strange veining cell effect. Not like it, so it's like not quite all mixed in, but it does. You guys can all say she's nuts afterwards. This is that one that had that really shifty side to it. Okay, I know yesterday I put the cotton candy on this. But that Fiji violet, it was so pretty in one of these yesterday because it turned the color completely shifty. It totally shifted. And because this is a red violet and I'm putting in a mauve violet, that was probably about 5 or 6 drops. I have a feeling this one's really going to shift strongly for us. And then maybe just some straight, let's see, where's the Groovy Guava? Groovy Guava is a straight magenta neon. So I'll put some of the magenta neon in here, Groovy Guava. Please work for me on camera. I know everybody goes to the same thing here, but just getting one drop out is kind of hard to do. Sometimes you end up pouring 2 or 3 drops out. Let's get a little bit of varnish in this one. Well, there's definitely enough color in mica. Getting the right amount of varnish mixed up. So I've got, ooh, look how pretty that is. That's that ashen violet with the Groovy Guava. That's a nice combo. Very nice. Even prettier on my, if you can see my paper towel right here. I just wiped my paper towel super sparkly with that stuff. And then let's flip this little stick over. Oh, this is making a really deep red violet. That is a pretty purple. What did I put in here? Fuji violet. I don't know if Teresa's writing this down. I don't think she's here today. It was Fuji violet, and what was the... I just got excited. It is... I just had it in my hand. And there's the... What did I do with them? What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. That was, yes, smoky topaz and ashen violet. Smoky topaz mixed with the Fuji violet, and this color ashen violet mixed with the Groovy Guava. This, I want to remember that combination. That's really pretty. Now, whether this works or not, I don't know. I think I've got enough color in mica in there to just add a little bit more because I'm using this just as kind of a glaze. Okay, let's see this works. This is a pure semi-experiment today because little kitty was jumping around too much and I didn't think it was a good day to do epoxy. They're not going to be spun. There's no spinning because it's going to be a square, kind of just a swipe. I think I'm going to start with this peachy one. I want to experiment with it first. I kind of like, actually, I like the colors on both of them, but I'm gravitating the one that has that goldy green on the top. So let's get this camera up for you guys. Get a little bit more overhead so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, hopefully everybody on Facebook can also see us. Hi there, Facebook. We love having you here with us. Okay, so I just want to get my stuff cleaned off so I don't knock anything over. I think that's from working in the lab. You get in the habit of putting everything away. My kitchen's not like that unless I'm baking something. Other than that, the kitchen's a mess, but the lab, you kind of got to be really careful. So yesterday I used a little white. I am going to use a tiny little white, but not as much as you'd think. And I'm going to do section by section. I'm not just going to cover the whole board up. So let's call this my top section. That's a lot of white, more than I wanted. Because I don't really want to cover up too much of the color. I know I'm sounding strange. I know. But let's see if this works. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, because I've got a top and bottom to worry about, we're going to put a little line of interference here. This is interference gold. Some interference gold here. All right. At least this is how I imagined it when I had to go to plan B real quick this morning. Now, what color do I want over that? What would really pop against that dark blue? Well, we know the gold won't be bad. The pink will be contrasting because there's pink down here. I mean, I could get away with the pink there. I don't have much of this turquoise color. Doesn't mean I can't use a little color in my cell activator, but a little bit of this might not be bad. Let's do some of this violet. And we have this other purple that I just made up, which is kind of interesting with this gold. Got to see how this dries, guys. Have no idea. But that's kind of the fun of this. We're going to do this weird little experiment here. I always have the option to change it on each layer or do something different. This is the Goldilocks. It was mixed up with a bit of honey. I made up a little bit more this morning so I wouldn't run out of the gold. But since you guys saw me mix it up yesterday, I wasn't going to take up your time showing how I mixed it. Okay, now that doesn't look like too much paint at all. We do have that smoky blue, but I think I'm going to start with, well, let's get some of the pink. Just a little though, because I'm liking that color combination on that section right there. I kind of don't want to ruin it. Famous last words. Make it too busy. Okay, now let's try and see what this varnish stuff does. So I'm specifically thinking just a little trickle. Wish I had this in a squeeze bottle. Just a little trickle in that gold. And then I'll put a little trickle up here and this little bit of gold. Start up here just to see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. But remember, varnish is part of the chemistry. It may be that it dries too quick. That's what everybody's going to probably tell me. I haven't seen one word anybody's saying because I'm not watching what your comments are. Okay. This is not the normal. Normally, I'm a left to right swipe girl. And I kind of set it up to where I kind of need to go the other way because I got most of the color on this end. And I don't want to swipe off this pretty purple. I want it to kind of blend into what we're doing. So I'm going to put some color here on the back of my, this is white cell activator, Amsterdam titanium white, 4 to 5 parts Floetrol, 1 part Amsterdam titanium white paint. Famous recipe. I always tap the excess back into my cup. And let's see if I'm functional enough. I don't think I can do it like that. Just go for it, Leslie. I just don't want to push it down too hard. Ooh. That's interesting what happened there. And I'm kind of liking what's on the end of my tool here. So I'm not going to throw that away. I'm just going to kind of scrape the rest of that paint right here because there was a little blank spot. Right? And then I'm going to wipe the back of my little thingy off right here. I got a paper towel. Put a little bit more white cell activator on it. I'm sure liking the reaction though. That's kind of cool. Whew. Maybe that's not enough. Miss Linda, you know your balance has to be updated manually. You can't log in and see a balance. We send the balance to you, sweetheart. But I did get a message from you, but it was about something else. So we can look at your balances as soon as I get off the live. Give me a couple hours after the live. All right, there's what it looks like. This is kind of interesting, what we're getting there. That is so gorgeous. Yes, Australian Floetrol, Aussie Floetrol, and Amsterdam Titanium White. I mean, that's a surefire white cell activator, guys. We know it works with everything, right? There's no doubt that it works with everything. So I want to go the other direction. Yeah, I want the colors loaded up so the heavier is here, and I'm swiping this way. That's the direction I'm used to going. Okay, let's do it again. Next section down. I don't even care if there's little gaps in there. See, after this dries, this is another thing. If you have a really subtle pattern, like let's say I did this whole piece in interferences and white cell activator, there's a technique where you could go right over the tarp and do this varnish glaze technique over the area that's dry, and the glaze would go down right into your cells and create a whole different look. So I am totally in love with this whole varnish concept, varnish glazing concept, and the depth and dimension that it can add to your artwork. It's just kind of mind-blowing. There's a little bit of white. It's Amsterdam Titanium White paint. And let's add, I did have some interference violet that I found that I had mixed up earlier. This has been sitting on my table for a few weeks. Nice to know that it's lasted this long. And I'm going to put a little bit gold on this end because that's kind of where I want to lay that varnish. Again, I don't know if this reaction is going to look, but I kind of like the more abstract-y effect that I'm getting from that. Right? Okay. And this one, let's make sure it's, I want a lot of turquoise in this one. I'm going to make sure this has this heavy amount of turquoise to be swiped over. That's that cyan aqua color. This is some of the purple. I think I did it to myself again. I'm trying to not swipe left. Oh, I can turn it around and swipe it the other way. That's right. I am not comfortable with swiping right to left, left to right as I am right to left. I think I said that right. This one I'm going to add a little bit of the gold. But again, I'm trying not to cover the whole darn thing with paint. I'm trying to be very sparing with this. So it's more of giving me an accent on this board that I'm working on. I'm going to use some of this smoky blue that we just mixed up with that topaz and the river rock. This is like a much darker teal. It feels a little bit thick. I think it's not really if it doesn't want to pour out of the cup, then it's too thick, right? It should at least drip out of there. You want, I mean, I wanted to have body for this because my paints are drying. They're not cracking. They're really smooth. And so I'm really happy with how the paints are drying with this mix. And let's have a little fun. and play with some of the pink, just a little bit. Let's see, I've got a purple, a gold, a blue. Okay. So that one, I kind of, when I use these, I got a little heavy handed now. There's a lot of purple right there. So I'm going to kind of put that varnish. I'm going to try, this should be in a squeeze bottle. Next time I should mix this up and put in a squeeze bottle so you don't get so heavy handed. Because it looks like it's better to put little drips on and wait for the chemical reaction than a long stream that puddles up just in one place, right? So that's what we're going to try this time around. I'm going right over that interference violet and just adding a few drops of the Purely Pigments, the minerals, and the glaze. Okay, so let's add some white cell activator to the back of our tool. I don't know if anybody's liking this technique. Terry's here. So is this working with you guys? These are new colors, Terry. Yeah, well, some of them are yesterday's colors. Some of them are mixed up today. Mike's right. I was going to do an epoxy thing, but with Jasmine jumping all over the place, I'm going to have to, one of these days I'll get her a catio. They make these little, they look like cages, but they're huge with hammocks and swings on them. Jasmine, get off the computer. Yes, you can't get up there. You probably heard her cry. Because she's having a fit. I think that she knows we're moving. Something's happening with her. All right, so I have extra paint like I did before. I'm going to scrape it down here. There's also some cell activator that looks like it didn't swipe all the way across. I don't know if I just kind of want to tilt it back and see what I get when I'm tilting this back. I was being so ginger with the swipe, I didn't want to go so heavy over everything. It's interesting. Look how it's completely resisting the varnish area. It's like it's pulling back from it. It's nuts. Now, I don't really have a heat. Oh, I do have a heat gun here. I need to get, I got my little heater here. I'm going to warm it up just a little bit, see what happens. I don't really want to blow it, but I do want to warm this up. It says it's plugged in. Okay. I guess I'm going to use my torch because it didn't come on, and I do, for all intents and purposes, have a massive torch. Just add a little warmth to my piece. And it looks like in all that time that I was trying to do it, the blue I was hoping would develop is developing. Now, again, I don't mind these pockets in here because when I resin over the top of this, and I can add some varnish glazing in here before I do the next layer, I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to like these little waves of color underneath them, right? So, okay, we got one more section on this one. Yeah, lots of cells. We're having luck with the cells today. Board is liking my Amsterdam white. I just don't want too much white paint on there. I want a minimal so it's enough to carry our color, but I want to be able to take advantage of what's beneath, right? So, yeah. All right, what colors are we going to use? I think this time I'm going to start with the purple. Of course, we got that other blue, but we did the turquoise in that last one. I think I'm going to start with this purple. This is the one we made up yesterday. So pretty. It's probably just enough in this cup to do this one last one here. Did Judy come on yet? Fairy Art Mother? I know she was answering questions for people about Belize yesterday. That is just so sweet of her to offer that house up. I know they're going to sell one of them. Now, a lot of people think timeshare. No, her and 10 other or there's 10 families total. So her and 9 other families actually purchased these 2 houses. And so if somebody buys it, they're actually part of a 10 family team. And then you book so many weeks out of the year that you want to use it personally, and or you rent it and make money against the cost to keep it upkeep. And you actually can make money on it because it is a vacation rental. I think I'm going to put some turquoise on, but I kind of want it on this end because we have turquoise here. Gonna just want to make it more interesting. Doesn't need to look all the same. Definitely going to use more of this interference violet here. And the interference gold. Yeah. That white cell activator, so pretty when you put it over just interferences. Like I said, I've done entire skins. I still have one dried that someday I might do a universe. And all I did was on a silicone mat was lay down all 5 interferences, and I put white cell activator on the top of it, and it's so beautiful. I'll have to show you guys in the next broadcast. One day I hope to cut it up and use it as galaxy clouds or something in my piece, right? So let me get the cell activator on the back of this little guy. Now, I complained in the beginning that I'm better left or right, but now I've gotten comfortable with this right to left. I guess it's a pressure thing. It's learning how much to push down. Now, there is no varnish in that one. I didn't add the varnish treatment to that, which that's kind of okay. But I still got a little section here. I forgot actually. And since this looks more pinky, more purpley bluey, I'm going to add just a little bit, a few drops of the varnish right in that interference gold. Put some more white cell activator. I've got a smaller one here, so we just have a small area on the bottom. And then let's see what actually happens with just the varnish over the top of the interference gold beneath it. Yep, see what happens? That's crazy. I'm actually kind of liking that effect. God, I don't want to waste this paint though. And yet I don't want to ruin the design here. Let me just kind of run around the sides with it. Never want to throw away paint, guys. So let me see the comments. That's what people are saying. Yeah, well, thank you, Sharon. I'm trying to see what everybody's thinking right here and if anybody has any questions. So that's really different color combination. Again, I don't even mind these open areas. These little gaps, when they dry, they're going to create more texture and interest when I decide to put epoxy over this. And if I think an area is a little dull or needs some touch up, I could take this varnish glaze with a paintbrush over the areas that are dried and touch it up. And that way I'm personalizing my piece any way I want to. So let me find a home for this. I gotta get it on a board back here. I have a safe place to put this to keep it flat until at least we're done with the second one, and then I'll put them both on the table when we're done. So let's kind of take a look at this and the light. Hopefully we can see some of the shimmer. I don't want to ruin it because it's really, really wet. So, okay, that's about it on the tilting. Sorry. I'm not going to ruin my piece. Yeah, I need to make sure this is someplace flat. All right. Got one more. This one's going to be a little bit different. Uh-oh, for some reason, it looks like the YouTube site is paused. Are you guys paused? Can anybody still see the broadcast? Okay, it can. It's just YouTube's acting up. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just going to reset the iPad so I can see the YouTube because it's kicked me out. Okay, it just kicked me out for some reason. It's not letting me view it. So it's hard to see y'all comments. I'm just getting back in. I've got two ways to view you guys. I can view you on the restream, but it's kind of small, and I have to turn my head to see what y'all are saying. And for some reason, it won't play. Let's see if this is it. See if it lets me do this. I'm putting my hand over the center. It looks like it's going to work. It's just easier to see your comments when you're right there. Yeah, I see my hand waving back and forth, so we're good. There's a little delay, but that's okay. All right, let's do this last one. That was kind of interesting. Now, what I've learned from that one is I don't want as much paint on there. I'm even going to do smaller sections. I just think it would be more interesting. And wow, those colors are so pretty. I'm just trying to figure out what will I do first. All right, let's try this little, but again, I want a smaller stream of white. I don't want that much white on there. I want as much as, because the, see, the interferences in the clear enamel, you're going to get some clarity when using this stuff. Right? So there's some of the gold. It's going to dry back clear with just interference streaks. Some of it won't. Some of it will stay semi-white. Here's some of that violet. Okay. Now over this greeny gold, definitely pink and purple. Of course, that's what I have mixed up, right? Blue, pink, and purple. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of the pink, but I know the pink is going to pop against that green. I'm looking for what's going to be the strongest contrast. Now here's that other purple that we made that has a lot of gold in it. It's kind of a strange violet. But hey, what the heck, you know? Now that's going to have a lot of pink because I put so much pink in there. And since there's turquoise up there, I'm going to try not to use the turquoise there. I'll use the rest of our, even though this is not my plan, it's good we're using up the rest of these paints I made yesterday, so nothing's being wasted at all. There's that beautiful cyan aqua mixed with the Oceana aqua in the Serpentine set. And I think I added some sparkle blue, as anybody knows me. Definitely. I'm a sparkle girl. My friend Fred Mullet didn't call me Pearly Girl for nothing. Years ago, he makes these fish stamps. Of course, I make stuff that blings. And so I call him Fish Boy, and he calls me, well, first he called me Goopy Girl, because the people at the bank teased me that my knees were always covered with color when I wore my sweats. So Goopy Girl. But then the name switched to Pearly Girl. That was his nickname for me. So I kind of have a reputation for liking things that sparkle, but who doesn't, darn it? You guys are being awful quiet, so it makes me wonder when I don't see anybody commenting. Are we still here? So I've got some of my white cell activator on here. Now, what color varnish am I going to use? I kind of want to go darker because there's already pink in there, and that other varnish one has a lot of pink to it. So let's just add. Now I'm going to try to just do drops. Again, I want to put this in a bottle next time because I think if I just went drop, 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 it would intensify the cells and not necessarily feel like it has to take over an entire area. And getting this across, of course, is going to be interesting. Boy, look at how strong just those couple drops of purple were. Oh my goodness. You saw how little I put on there. Oh, I'm loving that. There's this really interesting pattern, purple within purple within purple, that's starting to pop. I know you guys can't see it. I am so sorry. That's the only limitations of doing this stuff on camera like this, because we're kind of limited with what you guys can see. Sparkling color makes me happy. I have a twinkling personality. Well, that's probably why we called it Twinkling H2O. That was the name of one of my very first product I ever made was Radiant Pearls. I don't know if anybody was around in those days. It was a paint that dried by absorption, not evaporation. Almost all liquid paint dries by evaporation. And you could hit it with embossing powder and it would enamel for you. It's defunct because the shelf life was endless. I have people still message me today, 20 something years later, bragging they still have some Radiant Pearls. So I've made a lot of different things over the years. I've just kind of been this person who kind of, I'm sort of paying for it now, living alone, banging my own drum, doing my own thing, working for myself. Yes, it's risky. But I also wanted to make sure that I was doing color and paint systems that were never done before. That's why we're the only people in the world making a dry paint system called Primary Elements or Resin Art or the Purely Pigments we just launched. There's nobody offering you guys pure archival color in the bottle like that. And I have worked with the minerals for 28 years to where I know for a fact I'm buying the highest quality out there. Other people will tell you the same thing, and that's their right to say that. But history has served me very well. And here's that blue from yesterday that she dumped, but I'm going to use some of it. That's that really pretty blue that Terry liked. Terry asked me to save this jar for her to put her name on that jar that was marked cerulean blue. And this is what's left. I'm telling you, Jasmine was jumping all over the place. When I came back, I just went to go get the iPad. I was ready to start the broadcast, and she dumped the cup over, and I went, okay, so we're not going to do epoxy today. This isn't going to work. Let's see, what's missing? We've got gold, we've got blue. I guess we could put some purple in there. I'll put a little pink, but I don't want that much pink because there's so much pink in that one below. Just a little drizzle just to warm it up. And we'll use some of this. Here, we can add the pink in by using this other varnish color. Wow, this stuff's already getting... Oh, I know what we didn't do. Ha, 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 ha. The whole point of putting the varnish on was the interferences here was so the varnish would have a place to sit on and play and react with the cell activator. So let's hope I got enough left. We're going to run out, guys. The rest of the board just may be straight color. Oh my goodness. Now, are you seeing what's happening here? Look at this before we even turn this because it's not too wet. Can you see right here? Can you see that section where those crazy cells are popping right here? This is nuts. Trying to make sure it gets on camera for you. Sorry, as I turn one way, it wants to go another way. I am digging that sellage. Sorry. See, I just ruined I ruined my swipe. Oh, that means I have a room to put more color in here, huh? Let's add a little purple. Okay, let's get a little bit crazy here. Let's add some purple here. Maybe it's meant to be. I am loving how that smoky blue reacted to that purple. That's sorry to pull that up. I should have stood up and held it up. I'm sitting down trying to do this. So my apologies. I'm living in the moment, guys. I'm living in the moment. So let's get some of our cell activator on here. Yeah. So yeah, I want to stay a week in Belize. If whoever wins it, please take me. I love the fact that there's a chef that'll cook whatever fresh for the day. Oh, look at that. Okay, that one makes me very happy. I'm liking where this is going. Maybe I don't need chef service to make me happy. Look at all these crazy, interesting little cells. Those are very different from the ones I'm used to seeing. Wow. Okay, now this is going to seem nuts. I don't want to waste this paint, so I'm just going to rub it on there. And then I'm going to make another area to pull some of my white in over it. But paint goes where other paint goes, right? So instead of 4 sections, I'm just going to do 3 big ones, and because we're going to be running out of all these interferences. On this one, definitely, there's not much left in the bottom of the cup. And I want to make sure I lay probably that red violet in this puddle, because the violet, this interference violet, will be looking pretty with that varnish red violet. Right? And then the gold, we should have plenty in here. This was a much larger cup. Even though I wasn't planning on it, I'm glad we're using up the rest of the paints. Thank you, Jasmine, for helping us be thrifty and use up all the rest of our paints, right? Forcing us to. I'm liking this swipe in the middle here. That one turned out really interesting. And these little, they're like color inside a color. And that might be the reaction of that varnish on top. I don't know if we're discovering a new technique or not, but I thought, why not? You know, you never know what's going to happen. Here's some gold, or a bit of honey mixed with the Goldilocks, also from the Serpentine set. All right, let's get all the rest of that gold off. Throw the cup away. We're cleaning up. Okay, well, a little bit of pink won't hurt anybody, but before I get too crazy, there's the purple there. So I'm going to add a few drops again. If I could just put them in by little drops here and there. I don't want a big splash. I think these little drops give us better sellage than these pools is what I'm trying to say, right? Because they create more interesting sell and sell and sell versus just a big swash of what the varnish is reacting, how it's reacting. Here's some of that smoky blue we made today. Smoky topaz mixed with the river rock primary elements. River rock purely pigments. Yeah, okay. See what we've got left in some of that purple. This is that very interesting powder that was mixed, that purple mixed with gold. To me, that reminds me of a color we made years ago called English Lavender. It was a violet that was kind of an antique violet with gold sparkle in it. I do have some of that color that Terry liked from yesterday, a little bit of that left. We might as well use all of that up. If I can get the spoon to give the rest of it to me. This is almost perfect. There's like the right amount of paint left. Oh, wow. The bottom of this really sparkles. Apparently all that mica from yesterday settled on the bottom. Let's definitely get that there. All right. So I think we have something interesting. Let's make sure I get the back of this thing clean. So I'm not transferring paint. I don't want to transfer old paint. There's my cell activator. And, again, the challenge is getting just the right amount of pressure so it glides. Wow, that's a lot of paint. That's still left on my palette. I kind of don't want to waste it, but we're getting some interesting sellage here. This has a little bit of white cell activator left on it. Let's see if my torch, just a little warmth on my torch will move it around. Okay, yeah, there's some cells. It likes my torch. So I would love to have the recipes. We need to scrap your tools when I come. What, are you going to clean my tools? Yeah. Terry's a sweetheart. She's offered to come help me with part of the packing. People close to California. Sandy Sanders was planning a trip here. And bless her heart, her fur baby just showed up a few days before they were getting ready to go on their trip. Her and her daughter were going to take a trip to California and stop by here for a day and a half. And her fur baby, her kitty, showed up 1.5 pounds lighter suddenly, like lost a bunch of weight. And he has an issue, I think, with his thyroid, some kind of tumor, something with his thyroid, bless his heart. And she has to administer medication to him every 12 hours. They had to cancel their trip, which makes me sad that I wouldn't come see them, but it makes me sadder that her fur baby's sick. So I get it. I love my babies. So that's kind of it for the day. I'm going to try to put both these out here so they dry properly. I don't know if this is going to hold it because I've had this been sitting over here the entire time. Now you guys can really see the difference in these, right? Let's get my camera down here so I can wish you guys farewell. So apparently this is our second event, thank God, StreamYard event where we multi-stream to YouTube and to Facebook at the same time. If you have any friends on Facebook, please share. Where you'll find my video is on Color Art by Leslie Ohnstad. It's the business page. You can choose to follow if you want to, and then share with your friends. I'd sure appreciate it, because it's time that our fans on Facebook know that Color Art's still around. There is the code that is up there for 1 week. Save 17% by typing in summer 24. Make sure it's all lowercase. I did increase the mystery boxes. We were almost out because of what they picked up yesterday. Or Thursday, we really felt that we could probably make 15 more boxes. I mean, that SUV was filled to the ceiling. So, and there's still 2 more boxes here that I found after they left. The trip to Belize is on the ColorPlay deals page. Sometime today, Jarek's been working on it all morning. It will be an actual page dedicated to the sweepstakes of winning the trip to Belize. It's our attempt to raise funds in order to move the lab. It's going to cost about $20,000 to move. So we figured at $99, if 120 people do it, that ought to be enough to raise the money to move. And you can buy as many tickets as you want, because you are going to get unique invoice numbers. And like I said, once we figure out the numbers on all of them, I think I'm going to do a ping pong draw on July 20th. I think it would be more fun to do it live. Everybody gets to see it. I could even bring a co-host and have my co-host pick the balls out of the hat, so everybody feels like they've got an even chance. I don't want someone thinking that I'm giving some trip to my best friend, because here's the thing. All my customers I've known for so many years, you're all like friends to me. So I can't play favorites with anybody. I want everybody to win, right? And someone to get a chance to go down there and really enjoy yourself with your family. The house does sleep. It says up to 14 people, but I think it's 10 adults. I think they have extra cots in case you bring kids. And there was a retreat there. It was almost 3 years ago when Tammy Anderson and Erica from Artist Till Death went down there for a week art retreat. And I know somewhere in the archives of Facebook, there's videos of them being down there, putting up their experience of how beautiful it was. So if you're interested in taking a trip, I know Terry already has got a ticket for her and her mom. That's woohoo! So great. Anyway, thank you for joining. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I am the creator of Color Art Products. That is ColourArte.com if you don't know how to spell color art. I'm your host at ColorPlay Live, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturdays at 9 a.m. I will see you guys next time on Tuesday. And I think that's it for now. Have a beautiful weekend, and I love you guys. Mwah. Hugs and kisses. Of course, I have to turn my head over here to turn the live off now. It is StreamYard.